Welcome to Chronicles of Old Singapore. This is Dr Loh KS here, and I speak to Singaporeans about their memories of the country before it became a global city. We have with us today Mike Liew, whom I got to know this year, I think. Did an interview with him, a very interesting interview about his life and work in Singapore. And I thought, I should get him for this podcast as well. So that we know more about what happened in Singapore's industrialization program in the 70s to the 90s. It's always been my contention we don't know enough about this period of time, especially the men and women, who participated and got involved in this industrialization program, and really they made their lives, their families, raised their families in this period. Women as well. So if there are any women or men out there who involved in this industrialization program as supervisors, technicians, engineers, even factory workers, willing to come onto the show, I'll be most happy to speak to you. Back to Mike. How are you, Mike?
Okay. Now, I think it will be very interesting for us from the Merdeka generation, born in 52, and we've been through the British administration, to self-government, to independence, and thereafter. This is a period that we are actually fortunate to experience, and I think it would be good for future generation to listen to us, Singapore, before independence, when we were under the British administration.
Mike, you say you were born in 1952, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Tell us about your days growing up. Where were you born?
Yeah, as I said, I was born in 52, and then thereafter, my mom was not in the best of health. Yeah, so I was actually being cared for by my second sister, who's married with one daughter to a taxi driver. And then my parents' home was in what called Bukit Batok, just walking distance away from the quarry, the granite quarry, or Xiao Gui Lin, literally walking distance. And during the school holidays, I will have to spend some of my time with my dad and my brothers and family. Yeah. So during that time, as I say, growing up, Bukit Batok basically was not developed, or there was no electricity, no metal road. And actually, the metal road only comes in only in the early 70s. So, as I say, that's where my paternal home is. And that was being brought up by my sister, who lives in Kim Seng Road, which is considered downtown, Yeah. So actually, we were basically living in the rented quarters opposite Great Wall. And I remember, basically we are in a squatter. And I remember the bedroom was next to a storeroom, which was used to store corn, for popcorns. And then you were basically that there were rats. And then the Singapore River was actually at the back of the house. So during high tide, there will be floods on occasion. There are more robust youth who used to swim in the river in those days. And what was actually interesting was in 1961, there was a big fire in Bukit Hosui. It actually is about 100. They burned down about 100 acres of squatter areas. Yeah. And this was, I think, well documented. I think you interviewed James Xia, I think. Yeah, those were really, I was one of the witnesses, because living on this side of the river, and then you can see the flame. And Hosui is the place where I go for my haircut, and then where my sister will do his daily marketing. Yeah. And then the school in River Valley then, as you say, when the PAP came into power, basically the emphasis was more on, number one, is education. So in the River Valley area, there were basically 4 schools close to each other. My school is Kim Seng West Primary, then Kim Seng East Primary, and then after that is River Valley, and then there's another primary school along River Valley Road. So the emphasis by the government then was education.
Tell us more about growing up in Kim Seng. What did you do there?
Yeah, as I said, I'm just a primary school kid, basically a loafer, and basically there is not much of parental guidance. The guidance comes from the school itself, Yeah. So I remember in primary 2, I was basically pretty playful in my primary school. So in my first term, I came back, with my report being 28 in class in a class of like 30 or 32. I came back with report book stating I'm in 28 in class, and I got a big shellacking from my sister. And basically that's a turning point. And thereafter, the second term or the final term, I improved and jumped up to 4th in class. And thereafter it was no turning back. I was always in the top 3 thereafter. So a lot of it is actually due to self motivation and your basically your classmates. Because the moment, as I said, I advanced in my class standing, so I moved up to a better class, and so with a better class, you have more motivated students, right? So thereafter that, as I said, there was no turning back. Yeah. Now during that time, the good school were the few, RI, St. Joseph, Victoria, and then I think with the big cluster of primary education, there actually a big number of talented students. We didn't know it then, you see. So they can't put us in one of these established schools. So they put us actually in a brand new school called it's a mix. It's really a mixed bag. It's Tanglin Integrated Secondary Technical School. Why it's called that is it's a mix of Chinese, English stream, technical, and secondary stream. And it's really experimental. That was in Tanglin Hall area, the Queenstown area. And unbeknown to us until we, as I said, the Cambridge result came out in our batch, the first batch and our second. The first batch was in 67, and my batch was in 68, and we were among the top schools, the top ranking school in terms of the passing grade. And after, as I say, the secondary school, straight off, we know that we cannot afford to go on to study in poly, because basically we just know how ahead we have to join the workforce. So actually, I wanted to study in Singapore Poly full time, in production engineering, but I know that that was not possible. So I applied to the EDB industrial training program. Yeah, even before we take the final Cambridge exam. So the day after I finished the last paper, the next day I joined the EDB industrial training program, and there was several. There was actually basically a whole class of us in the similar situation, come from disadvantaged background, but as I say, we have to start somewhere.
Okay, so Mike, that was a lot of information in a short period of time. Let's slow down and kind of take a deep breath and look at. I'm very interested in your primary school. So what was the name of the primary school you were in? You said there were 4 schools in the area.
Kim Seng West Primary. It was actually only demolished only a few years back. They want to keep it, I think. But then after that, now it's the whole area is being developed by condo. The whole area. Yeah, I still have photos. I went back. I took photo of the old school. It's very nostalgic. Yeah.
Okay. So it was demolished quite recently.
Yeah, I think only about 3 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. Could you send me some of these old photos? I mean, some of your photos of the school.
This send, right?
Huh?
I think.
No, I don't have
No,
that.
no problem. I still
Maybe
have
you
it.
send again. Yeah.
Yeah, this send. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So how did you end up then going to Tanglin Technical School?
Yeah. Me, as I said, we applied to the traditional Victoria, St. Joseph, and because we didn't know there's a school known as Tanglin Technical or Tanglin Integrated, because it was a new school. It was only established a year ago. Yeah, so they decided to as I said, put us in that particular school. And unbeknown to us, we were actually what called a high potential bunch that during that time.
How did
Tanglin Technical, Queensway Secondary, Newtown School, that area. Yeah, I think Queensway is still around. The school still around. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you feel when you didn't get into the mainstream secondary school, the top school, and you were posted to this new school? How did you feel?
Yeah, okay. Initially, of course, during the placement time, you were disappointed, but once you started, and then again, the good thing is we have very good, dedicated teachers, a real motivator. Even the principal, he was a real dedicated.
Who was the principal? Who was the principal?
Wu Tonggang. He passed away in his 90s, only recently, in the recent years. And after that, he was a top ranking administrator in MOE. Yeah.
Right.
He's really, truly something.
Okay. Yeah. Did you know at the time what was a technical school?
Oh, that time there was basically first, there's only one technical school, Queenstown Secondary Technical School. So most of the early engineers actually came from that school. And then during my batch, then you have the Danyan Tech. I think basically Danyan. I think it's only Danyan Tech or at the most one other. Because at time they realized they need to have more basically students that are trained in the technical skill, at least metalworking, technical drawing. These are actually very useful skill to have. So as I said, when I was in technical school.
How did your parents feel about your going to a technical school?
Because during that time, as I say, they were not, as I say, too well informed. And then I was also juggling about my career option. I had the opportunity to be a technical teacher. Yeah, in fact, I joined the 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 program for 1 week, and I find that it's not suitable for me. The same old classroom environment. Uh, and then I feel that it's better for me to join the workforce.
Tell us about your technical classes. What kind of classes did you have?
The main thing, as I said, beside physics, chemistry, the main technical subject is primarily metalwork and technical drawing. Of course, now you call it STEMs because if you add on to physics, chemistry, and maths, basically that is the foundation. STEM, yeah, and which give us the background when we started our technical education in Singapore Poly. So as I say, because during the time when we were in the training program, we cannot afford, as I say, to study full time. So we have to join the Singapore Poly part time, which is I was lucky. In fact, and also the employer subsequently were actually very conducive to the idea that we can take 1 day off from work to attend a class in Singapore Poly. This is called day release, which model after the British system. We have 1 full day in Poly and 2 night classes. Yeah, this is called day release, which actually is a very a good form of education. You learn. You learn and while you work. Nowadays that's not available, but then so it shaped our basically our thinking and aspiration much faster.
We are interested. I am interested in your technical school,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I want you to talk more about it.
Yeah, which actually basically the only difference in the technical stream is basically we have to do metal work, which is workshop, and technical drawing. This is the 2 subjects which is not taught in the secondary stream. I think the workshop, as you say, in the metal work class, we do lathe work, basically lathe work, metal turning, and then metal fabrication, metal fabrication, and then that is the metal work stream. And then we have another stream which is the woodworking stream, yeah, which they do carpentry, joinery, and many of the technical stream students, they don't really like to join the woodworking stream because they know that thereafter they will be in the construction industry, doing carpentry work, whereas in metal work, you will have more opportunities. Yeah.
So when you were given this, you went into these 2 classes, wood and metal. Which one did you prefer?
Of course, thereafter that, I basically wanted to join the metalworks. There's only 2 class in doing metalwork, and 1 woodworking class, and 2. There's basically 2 technical stream and 1 three technical stream. 1 woodworking, 2 metalwork. Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of metal work was it? Tell us about it. What kind of metal work was it?
As I say, essentially, the main machine in the workshop is basically the lathe, where you turn the metal, and then there was some bench work, whereby you do filing and metal forming. That's essentially it. Yeah, that's right.
So what did you do? Did you make anything, or did you the
It's a
wheel
it's
the
a it's
metal?
a classroom exercise. So you basically just operate the lathe and then turn down some metal rod to a certain dimension, because it's basically it's just hands-on. Just give you some hands-on experience.
Did you enjoy doing it?
I'm not very good with my hands. Yeah, that's
You're
right.
not very hands-on, right? You are a more cerebral person.
Yeah, I'm not very good hands-on. So when I joined the EDB training program, uh, the the first few months we had no choice. You know, we had to spend the day, working on different metalworking machine. Metal shaping, the miller machine. Yeah, with spanner behind our back. That was good. That was a good experience. And having
Mm.
basically work on shift. Basically work on two shift. Which was a good grounding for basically a young teenager.
Mm.
Essentially.
So initially, after you when you were graduating final year, you were thinking of going to Singapore Polytechnic. What would you be doing there? Engineering? You saw yourself as doing engineering in poly?
Oh yeah, the time as I say, the it's like people from the technical school, they aspire to an engineering career. Yeah, and so when we were actually doing my industrial training with EDB, then we have aspiration, to become engineer. In those days, you can become engineer. In fact, most of them, there's an alternative route to become an engineer. You work, then after that, you take exam, public exam, which is conducted by the Institution of Mechanical Engineer, Institution of Production Engineer. But you still can qualify as an engineer. Yeah, and that time, marine engineering was the most popular course in Singapore Poly, because you were guided all along to a career as a seafaring engineer. That was the only course in Poly beside production and engineering. Production, if you graduate from Singapore Polytechnic with a production engineering diploma, you just need to uh, take the last final exam of the Institute of Production Engineer before you become a qualified engineer, so to speak. Yeah. So during that time when I was doing my industrial training, so when the opportunity come up, to move away from a workshop environment, uh, I decided to major in concentrate my training in production planning and control, which is more akin to production engineering. Uh, and then I have already in my mind already formed that I'm going to major in work study. That work study is basically a major branch of production engineering, and then in the US it's known as industrial engineering. Yeah, at the tender age, the time we were only about 18, 19. We know I want to be a industrial engineer, and I know what I have to do. To be one.
So just to clarify, after Tanglin,
Yeah.
you uh, took up this apprenticeship scheme. Is that right? This is with the IDA, Engineering Industries Development Agency.
Industry Development Agency. Imagine it was basically formed to, to provide manpower for the engineering industry.
Right.
Yeah,
So as an apprentice, you were studying, right? You were actually a
yeah.
student.
We were
Uh,
working and then studying. Yeah,
okay, so the apprenticeship includes both the work first, right? Is it
yeah,
in the
that's right.
morning is working, and then in the afternoon it
At
is
night
work.
and one day off.
At night. Okay, okay.
Basically, it's a training program. Uh,
Mm.
but then because they pay us uh, uh, 900 a year, make the scholarship money sounds big. They pay us $900 a year, so they call it industrial training scholarship. Yeah, but actually, it's a scholarship in the sense that according to the EDB report, it cost them more than 100,000 to train each one of us.
Mm.
That's big money, you know, in those days.
Yeah,
Cost
yeah,
them 100,000 each to train each one of us. Yeah,
right.
because
Uh,
the establishment of the training facility, the manpower.
so at the end of the apprenticeship, you would be an engineer. Is that right?
Yeah, it's basically 1 year, and then after that, we were still being employed
Mm.
by DB, then
How long was the bond? Was there a bond?
and there was no bond yet. There was no bond. Yeah,
Okay.
and then after that, I worked for another year because I know I wanted to be a work study engineer, so I was looking for opportunity. And during that time, uh, the big employer for work study was the Port Authority, and then FNN, and then one or two companies like Singapore Glass, that will basically have work study engineer, yeah.
Okay. So while you were at either, what were you doing? I mean, what were the workshops you were attached to? Who were you learning from?
So I should say I was doing production planning, uh, and then after that, in either uh, you had the tool and die factory, tool and die workshop, and then the next one is the foundry, the metal casting or the foundry. Uh, but I basically doing production planning for the foundry department, the metal casting foundry department. They were interesting time in the sense that we were involved in setting up the whole the whole all the machinery that was involved because the the facility, we moved EIDA then was in River Valley. We moved to the new complex in Jurong. Yeah,
The new complex in Jurong. Where in Jurong?
Corporation Road is actually the entrance to Jurong Town. It was actually it's a very strategic location.
Okay. Okay. I want to talk a bit more about your time there, the work study program.
Yeah,
So the work was what? You had to do what kind of work while you were there?
you still have to schedule each uh, job. Each job has basically a job order, and it has to go through various processes. Yeah, and then we basically have to track and monitor basically the progress and the cost incurred to date for each job. Nowadays they call this job shop, job order shop. Yeah, each order has a job number. We have to monitor the progress, of the job to fulfill what
Mm-mm.
the order.
So this is an office job, is that right?
For me, it's a planning job. I don't do it on the shop floor. On the
Yeah.
shop floor, with the metal, the people doing the metal casting, the sand casting, the metal casting. Yeah,
Okay. And then at night, this is when you would go for the study.
yeah, that's right.
Okay, so what would you study at night?
My preference was production engineering, but it was not available to me then. So I have to do mechanical engineering, which is all the basic sciences.
Right. So let me just run through the whole day, right? So in the morning you start off with the work, with the planning work
Yeah,
until about 5 o'clock, I guess. About 5 o'clock.
yeah, that's
And
right.
then at night, when does the night class start?
7 o'clock, yeah,
Okay.
7 to 9, yeah, 2 hours.
In the same place at the
That was
EIDA?
in Palmer Road at the end of Shenton Way. That was where Singapore Poly was.
That was at Poly.
Until
Okay. Yeah.
the 8 or 69. That was the place where engineers were trained.
Mm.
In those days, the NUS engineering department was actually housed in Singapore Poly. Yeah, yeah.
Who were the teachers at night in the night class? Who were the teachers?
We have a couple of expatriate English teacher, and then we have a mix of full-time and part-time teacher. Part-time teachers are basically engineers working, and then they teach. They teach in the night. Yeah. So it was actually a good mixed bag. Yeah.
Okay, okay. One last question about this apprenticeship scheme, right? Because most people do not know what that is. What's the difference between an apprentice and a
Yeah.
student?
The other, I mean, there were there were actually what? Oh, I know. There's three other companies offer apprenticeship program. One is Sembawang Shipyard. The other one is Keppel Shipyard, and EDB, which is it means we go through at least some form of curriculum, I mean, training material. We are actually not productive yet, it's the same with apprenticeship program in the shipyards. Yeah, you learn the basic skill. Yeah.
Yeah, but what's the difference? It's not a student. An apprentice is not like a classroom student. What's the difference?
It's basically a student, but your classroom is the workshop. Essentially, your classroom is your workshop. Yeah.
Comes to the question, right? How do you learn in a workshop? How do you be a student in a workshop?
You basically, I should say, you have to do the actual work. As I say, in forming certain metal workpiece. You basically have to do the actual work under the watchful eyes of a senior craftsman, craftsman, under supervision of a senior craftsman. Yeah,
So the senior craftsman is in fact the master, the Sifu,
yeah, the
right?
Sifu.
Right.
Those days.
So the Sifu gives you the instruction.
Yes, they give the instruction, and they do check on you, how you're doing, because you cannot afford to make a mistake. It costs money. If you spoil your workpiece, it
Yeah.
costs money. Yeah.
Are they over your shoulder looking down at you all the time?
Alongside, alongside, yeah. See if we're doing okay, then they'll leave us, and then they'll
Yeah,
come back.
correct. Because they have to work as well, right? They have their own jobs as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah. We are
So
just their assistant. Yeah. Put that way, assistant. Yeah.
did this kind of system work, you think? To
Hmm?
learn the trade, to learn the craft, do you think
Yeah.
this kind of system works?
I mean, it is a good exposure to a real working environment in a real workshop, with no aircon, with no air condition, noisy, all the machine around you, basically operating.
What did you learn, you think, from this apprenticeship scheme? Were you able to learn skills?
Me, as I said, I'm exposed to
Mm.
to coming from school. I'm now exposed uh, to work, almost working in the real life. So it was an easy transition when we work in a company. It was an easy transition because we've been through the discipline of standing, uh, throughout the whole shift, and only having fixed break, during the day. It was a good discipline. Yeah.
Were you able to learn from the Sifu? I
Oh
mean, these
yes.
are very experienced craftsmen, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's right. Most of them are experienced customers. Yeah, of course. Yeah. If not, then our time is wasted. So at least it motivate us, push us further. Yeah.
What did
It,
you
it
learn from your
help.
Sifu? What did you
Uh,
learn from your Sifu?
it's basically how to do the job well.
Do
It's
you can you give an example? Give an example. Do you remember an example?
it's basically be conscientious when you in when you're doing when you're working with machinery. You have to be conscientious because a simple thing like the metal lock on the machine, you must know, uh, remember to take it out. So if you daydream, you forget to take it out, you will be in harm's way, really harm's way.
That's right. So one of the key things that the apprentices had to learn from the Sifu is the importance of safety.
Yeah,
Correct?
yeah, that's right.
Because working with machinery, you can likely get hurt if you're not careful.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean the number one thing is safety first. You fundamentally is safety first. Yeah, that's right.
Have you heard of this story that the Sifu will ask you to get a cup of coffee, and when you come back with the coffee, he's done the work already.
But we don't think much about it. You say, hey, go and get a go and get a coffee, go and tea break. It's a good break for us anyway. To move out, do something different. We don't think too much into it. Is it?
Yeah, but it happened.
Oh yeah. But man, how often does it happen? I mean, the most twice a day. Yeah.
That's a lot, right?
No,
Because
yeah, yeah. 15 minutes break. I mean, each session, 2 times a day. That's okay. Good
that's
break.
okay. I mean, the story behind it is that they send you away so they don't have to teach you.
Yeah, it's a break for us, a break for them too. Yeah.
You mentioned industrial engineering earlier, right? Tell us what is an industrial engineer.
Basically, we analyze the work process to its minute detail. Yeah, and then after that, we have to improve it. How to simplify the work task. Yeah, and during that time, this was very big in basically in all the manufacturing plant. Yeah, because you also have to balance the workstation to make sure that each workstation has the same basically workload. Yeah. And then we also have to do layout planning.
Mm.
How to set up layout a factory. Yeah, where the machines are to be together. How are they to be placed? Yeah.
So meaning the job of an industrial engineer is very important when a plant is being set up.
Yeah, but actually, I mean, as I say, the all the major let's say, employer like Philips, GE, HP, when you have a manufacturing, when you have a plant, assembly plant, you would have somebody to look after to ensure the efficient uh, running, of the assembly line. Yeah,
Maybe you can give us an example. Tell us about this. Working as an industrial engineer when
yeah,
you join your first company.
yeah. You see, as I said, we were lucky in the sense that uh, we joined this FNN Fraser Neave when after they engaged the management consultant, PA management consultant, which is like uh, McKinsey in those days, which already set up, we call it the performance, the management information system. So we basically have to provide the real actual data from the factory floor to feed into the information system, the production information system.
Yeah, go on.
So as I say, we have to provide real data from the shop floor to feed into the information system, so that the management will know how well each production line is performing, the measure the efficiency. And then it's a very scientific approach in the sense that you have to budget and provide time for what called non-productive activities, like set up, tool changeover. You have to say, okay, you do one setup, you're allowed so many minutes to accomplish it. Yeah. So at the end of the day, the information system will be able to say, hey, this plant was operating at 80% or 90% efficiency. Yeah, which is very good, in the sense that at least the plant manager knows how well his operations are operating, how well the assembly line are operating, if they have different assembly line. Yeah.
So just now I was asking if the industrial engineer comes in when a plant is being set up. So let's say a plant is already set up and operating.
Yeah.
Can you still improve it? Can you still change it?
Of course, I mean that's what we call continuous improvement. And then you have where the just in what we call just in time, or uh, the or the workforce will form into team, whereby they have to come up with ways to improve. You're bound to have, as I say, yeah. That's why every year you expect your process to improve at least, let's say, like 8%, 12% a year. Expected. Even purchasing manager, they will negotiate for a reduction in the selling price every year. It's expected already.
How does an industrial engineer strike a balance, right, between efficiency, productivity, and safety?
I mean, they are what called methodology involved for each of such processes. And you just have to do your own research. And in some companies, they have the central industrial engineering department that publish or print manuals. These are the real gem, you know what I mean? That this is basically how you do. You want to do a plan layout. Yeah.
Let's talk about your time at FNN, right? So this was a bottling plant
Yeah, that's right.
at River Valley, right?
Yeah,
So when you are applying your industrial engineering to the plant, what did you
yeah.
do there?
As I say, first we have to uh, visit all the production line in 11 different locations throughout Singapore, Malaysia, and East Malaysia. We have to visit each of this plant, and we have to do shop floor study whereby we measure uh, the, 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 the operation, basically collect data from the shop floor, and then we set what you call production standard because the layout of each plant is different. So each production line will have its own standard. Yeah, that is for the shop floor manufacturing. Then we have to do the layout of the warehouse, and then we also have to look at the distribution side of things, whereby we follow the truck driver on their rounds when they do the deliveries.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
we also have to understand what it takes to do a order fulfillment.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, I'm very interested in safety because, in industry in Singapore, in the early days, 70s, 1970s,
Yeah,
safety in some industries was not ideal, right? It was not optimal. So, for example, in FNN, in a
yeah.
bottling plant, what were the safety concerns that you had to deal with?
Primarily, the main hazard are bottle bottle exploding because you're filling a bottle with carbonated gas. So there are some imperfection in some of this bottle whereby they simply just explode. So basically, you have safeguard, safety guard in critical operations. Whereby you have a safety guard. When the bottle just explodes, it doesn't affect any production workers. It may stop the bottling line for a while, yeah, to clean up. Then after that, when the
Uh,
bottle explodes, you
so
just
when
need
you say safeguard, you mean like some kind of shield?
yeah, metal shield
Uh,
around critical processes, around critical processes. Yeah,
right, right. And about the production worker, right? The bottling worker, they stand up, right? They do it standing up, right?
yeah. But actually, I mean, those who stand up, when their processes involve them standing up, they will be rotated around. Yeah,
Mm,
give them they probably only stand up for half an hour. Thereafter that they will be rotated to other basically function where they get a chance to sit. Let's say
okay.
spec the fill bottle. So they have a chance to sit down. Yeah. So these are again, I should say, you have to work out.
Yeah. Bottling is not really a labor intensive. Is it semi automated?
Uh, Basically, it was semi automated process in
Mm,
the sense that in those days, you have return bottle, from the field, from the market. You have to unload them from the case,
right, right.
the washing machine. So it's semi-automatic. And then after the bottle are filled, you have to put the filled drinks into the crates. Yeah, that was in those days where a lot of the soft drink were in glass bottle. But then after that, evolved into metal can.
Yeah.
The metal can basically is it's a hand, basically a fully automated operation. There's hardly any manpower involved.